Hello, my awesome Aquarius, and welcome to your weekly energy reading. This is just a general reading, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, check out the other signs in your chart in case they resonate with you more. Please do check out your monthly reading, your love bonus, and your moon reading if you haven't had a chance as well. Please do like, subscribe, share if you haven't had a chance, and hit that notification bell because your May readings are due to come up as well very soon. But before, or without further ado, rather, let's go ahead and get started on these weekly readings, and we're going to go ahead and we don't do these in reversals, so we will just go ahead and throw those out and see what we've got for you, shall we? All right, looking like we've got some big cards here. All right, okay, well, we're starting out with the Devil card. Okay, so I do feel like you are surrounded with some negativity. Okay, so I do feel like for whatever reason, a lot of you probably have been going through some things. You may be, if you look at the card, they're obviously tied to something. So there's maybe things in your life that are coming back around. Maybe you've already cut ties with some things. Maybe you've broken up with somebody in a relationship that was awful, narcissistic, devil energy, terrible. But they're coming back around, okay? So maybe they've popped up recently and you're like, oh, no, not again. They're trying to suck you back in. Maybe they're being apologetic. Maybe, I kind of get the feeling for some of you that that's what's happening, is that they're actually coming back, and they're not coming back in that negative way, though. They're not coming back as that typical devil energy, like to cause chaos and drama. They don't seem that way anyway. Of course, that's what they're gonna do anyway, and you kind of should know that. But the devil takes many forms, obviously, and they can be as sweet as pie, and they can apologize, and they can say these things. It's just not sincere, right? So I feel like maybe for some of you, if you've had somebody come back recently in your life, or if you see somebody very soon come back that is been a past pain for you in work, in relationships, in life, and I feel like they may be trying to get back with you. Apologetic, reconciliation, these kinds of attitudes. They're trying to kind of hitch back up with you for some reason. Maybe they see that you're doing well without them. Maybe they're having their own strife, conflict, whatever, and they're like, you know what? Misery loves company, so they want you to be miserable too. Maybe because they're not doing well without you, they're like, I was better off when I was able to kind of control their life, and they were kind of the sound and steady. So they needed you. Of course they need you, right? So they kind of want to hitch their self to you, but they may be doing it in a sweet, forgive me, all that kind of way. Be weary, okay? Or be aware that that's not who they really are. And you may, see that right off. This may be somebody who's burnt you so many times. You're like, oh, I know this from jump. But for some of you, this may be somebody who just kind of, they did you wrong once, you kind of cut ties and did away with them. But they, it wasn't a repetitive thing. So you don't really necessarily see them for that devil energy quite yet. So just be aware. If somebody's kind of coming back into your life, kind of think about why be very, very much on alert for red flags. Let me just put it that way. Okay. Now with this, I see that you have the Five of Swords here. Okay. So again, this is kind of, I feel like with this, they feel like you left them. Okay. And, this may, again, like I said, this may be something where you were in a very long relationship with this person, a long situation with this person, and you finally broke free. Okay. Do not allow them to come back. And I think for those of you that have been through that kind of situation, the only reason you might go back is because of a trauma bonding situation where you're kind of like, okay, it was, if you're alone, for example, you might be like, okay, it was comfortable. And even though it was completely uncomfortable, really, when you were in it, the mind basically kind of blocks out the bad, right? So you remember the positives, even though they might have been, 1% of the time. That's what you focus on. So you might be like, okay, but I remember having someone to come home to, or having someone to eat dinner with, or watch a TV show with, and your brain's kind of blocking out the memory of those 99% of the time that you were having screaming matches, or they weren't there for you, or they were lying or cheating or stealing or doing whatever things that they were doing. Okay. So this may be kind of what the situation is here. This is kind of like your reminder that this is going to be what would happen if you let them back in. Okay. So don't let them back in. Now, for those of you who, again, maybe this was a very short situation, a quick type of dating issue, or maybe you went out with them a couple times and it just didn't pan out for whatever reason, or this or that, and you didn't really get forward. So you didn't really get a chance to experience their full devil energy for what it was worth. So you don't really know, okay, for sure how they are. But yet you kind of feel like they feel like you kind of left them. So again, when they come back in, you may have a tendency to not necessarily see those red flags until you get to this point, okay? Until you get to a point where things are going to kind of hit the fan, all right? And you're going to have to walk away. You're going to have to turn your back and literally just get away from this person, okay? Because they are going to be bad news. But it may take some serious, kick in the face for some of you, because you may just not have gone through this. You may not be used to this kind of person. They may be, these people are very manipulative. They're well groomed for this kind of stuff. So the best advice I would give you, if this is a situation like that, or if this is a new person coming in that, very interested in you, or you're very interested in them, but you kind of are starting to see red flags, you're kind of seeing them kind of back here, doing things with their friends or with other people, or kind of leaving you out, or kind of whatever it is that's red flagging you, once that starts happening, this strife, this turmoil, this whatever, get out immediately, right? Because that's your best bet. As soon as you start to leave and get out, things are going to start looking up, okay? Separating yourself from this energy is the best thing for you, okay? So whether this is an old relationship that was long-term, an old relationship that you've known and it was quick and you just haven't been used to all their kind of logistical talents and skills of manipulation, or whether this is somebody brand new and so you're kind of like, I'm not used to this. I don't really know how to even deal with this. The second you start seeing these red flags, trust when I tell you this person is not good for you. Get out immediately, okay? Because by getting out, by being this person who takes your swords and goes home, right? Takes your talents, your skills, your strength, your whatever, right? And goes home, you're going to be abundant, right? You're going to save yourself all kinds of draining energy, okay? Mental, physical, emotional, financial, everything, okay? So you're going to come out very abundant in all of those aspects, okay, with this 9 of Pentacles by leaving, okay? So this is kind of what you're going to have to go through. And the quicker that you can kind of look for those red flags, know that that's devil energy, know that that's the one that you got to get away from, the faster you're going to get to this abundance, okay? This happy place, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Know that if somebody new comes in and you start noticing red flags, don't stick around, okay? Don't hang out to see how it plays out. Don't get sucked into the web, because that is what these people do. They have a uncanny ability to really tell you what you want to hear, make you feel like you are the greatest thing, groom you truly to feel like you are exactly, the person for them and they're the person for you. And then months and months later, when you've invested time, effort, energy, and you're kind of in the web, then they kind of start changing slowly into this person. And by then you've really kind of got stuck, you've wasted time, all this stuff. So trust me, the first red flag you see, bail. Got it? All right. So let's see what your challenge card is, okay? And we will kind of get some insight there too. But again, the best thing you can do here is if you see somebody from your past, is a devil, just walk away up front. If you see somebody from your past that, you've been with, but not enough to know that they're a devil, the second you see a red flag. If somebody new comes in, the second you see a red flag, just know, okay, I've already been told. Devil energy's coming. That's got to be it. I got to go. Okay. And this one is the 9 of Wands. So I feel like the challenge here is putting this burden down, okay? So for many of you, the burden is that you're tied to this, okay? So if you're of that group, take it as it resonates, that you were already involved with this person, that you have a trauma bond with this person, or that you've already kind of been sucked into their web at some point, it's much easier to kind of get sucked back into that web, right? And that is a huge burden, okay? So that's number one. But number two, the burden here, okay, for you to walk away, for a lot of people here is, you may be alone, okay? You may be a person who is, I don't want to necessarily say codependent because that does have some sort of stigma, negative connotations in some regard. It shouldn't really, I don't think, but, I know it does, just the term. But maybe you feel like, I've been alone for so long, or I've been out of a relationship and I just want somebody around. I want somebody to be with me. I feel like it's a burden that I have to be by myself all the time, that I have to do everything alone, that I have to always be handling everything in the house, handling everything with the kids, handling everything by myself, doing everything alone, and that's your burden. So that's your challenge, is you want somebody to do these things with. So when this person comes along, if it's a new person, if you're of that second group where this is a newer person or somebody that you don't really know the history of with, the burden is that you don't want to really be alone. That was your burden, was being alone. So you're really hesitant to walk away from this person because even though you might see the red flags, you're kind of like, let's kind of just look over those. Let's glaze over those because at least it's somebody to be with. At least they have this, and this going for them. So you're kind of excusing away some of those red flags, kind of by pointing out or talking yourself into the positives, right? Because your burden is doing everything yourself, having to handle the household by yourself, having to do everything on your own, things like that, that's your burden. And, that's great. But trust me when I tell you that when they start showing their true colors, they're not going to be a help. They're going to be working against you. Okay. And it's way worse to be alone with somebody than alone without somebody. Okay. When you're in a home with somebody and you still feel alone and they're working against you because they're devil energy, that makes that burden 1,000 times worse than just being alone. Okay. And for those of you who've never been in that type of relationship, you can quickly learn that. Okay. And I don't want you to have to. So, it's better to have the burden of being alone and waiting for the right person than have the burden of being with somebody who is the wrong person. Okay. So, just keep that in mind. Now let's get some clarification here on the devil energy. This is the psychic deck. And hopefully, oops, we got a jumper. Let's use it. All right. Victory and success. Okay, so I do believe you're going to have victory and success over this devil energy. I do believe that. Okay, but I do believe it's going to require, and because I see it down here, I do feel like you're going to get through this for sure. It's just, how long are you going to be chained to this? How long are you going to allow this to go on? Are you going to be the person who gets your victory and success almost immediately because you say, you're not coming back in here. I'm wise to your games. Are you going to be the person that immediately, the second you see a red flag, you're like, no, out, peace, go? Or are you going to be the person who indulges this because, you're like, I'm just sick of being alone. I'd rather be with anybody, even somebody who's subpar, than be by myself right now, And so you have to kind of go through all this steps of kind of real burden and suffering and, kind of sucky relationship wise before you hit this victory and success. Okay. So you're definitely going to be, I feel like you're going to have a successful relationship ahead. It's just not this one. Okay. And it's how quickly can you get out of this one to, build yourself up stronger, better. That's the question here. So that's what you kind of need to evaluate. This is the moon deck. Let's see what it has to say here. About your 5 of Swords and your burden. So, the quicker you move away, the quicker you're going to be able to handle any burdens that you have. I do believe that. But let's see what the moon deck has to say about that. Any advice or anything to elaborate on that. So again, it's saying stay hungry. Okay. So I feel like this is kind of a twofold. I feel like it's telling you that you want to stay hungry for something that you want. Okay. And if you see a red flag that obviously, or if you've left this person before, that that's not what you wanted. You left for a reason, right? So stay hungry for your goal, your path, your person, your soulmate, right? Stay hungry for that. Okay. But also your hunger, okay, is your burden in some regard. So if your immediate hunger is that you don't want to be alone, okay, I do feel like this is kind of spirit telling you that that hunger could be your undoing, okay, if you let that take control of you. So what you need to do is harness your internal hunger that is more long term, more like your full hunger for what you really want in the long run, long term, not right now. Not, you know, you want Mr. Right, you don't want Mr. Right now, okay? Because if you do, it's going to lead to a much longer, drawn out, painful process. Trust me on that. But stay hungry for your long-term Mr. Right, okay? That's how you're going to get your victory and success. Okay, that's how you're going to get your positive outcome here. And we'll pull one last advice card here. Hopefully that'll shed some light on what you need to do or want to do and your outcome here. Alrighty, and we'll close it out for you. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay, rise above it. It's not yours to carry. You are an empath. How can you detach from, from the drama? Okay, well, I think that is such a good card for you, to be honest, because this person is going to do nothing but cause drama. Devil energy does nothing but cause drama. They can cause drama. It doesn't matter in any way, any form. They're going to cause drama. That is what they live off of. They live off chaos. They live off drama. They live off aggression, anger, upset. They feed off of that. That's what the devil feeds off of, right? So again, what do you need to do to get rid of that drama? You need to get rid of this person. You need to take that burden of, whatever it is. And if it's being alone, trust me, being alone for a short time, again, is better than being alone with someone by far, because you're going to be alone and drama filled. That is not what you want, even with somebody in the room. Okay. So again, put down the drama, get rid of this person. Okay. Because ultimately, rise above any of their nonsense, any of their bull, okay? Because they might try to suck you in, but you're better than that. Rise above, get victory and success. Stay hungry for the things that you need, you want, your goals, your path, your focus, and believe me, they don't want any of that for you. Nobody with devil energy wants you to be happy, successful. They don't want that. They're miserable, and misery loves company. They feed off your anger, your drama, your upset, sadness, all of that, okay? So how are you going to get here? You're going to cut those kind of people out of your life, rise above it, and create your own, okay? Drama-free world, all right? So hopefully this did resonate with you. If it did, please do like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for your May reading, which is coming soon. And otherwise, just watch out for red flags. Anybody coming back in your life, anybody new in your life, the first sign of a red flag, I would assume that it's this guy, girl, thing, devilness, and run for the hills, okay? Because trust me, it's not going to help you get on your path, all right? Have a good one. Bye.